Howdy folks, it's AJ the Hunting Gear Guy, and this is an FN49. This one's an 8mm Mauser. It's made for the Egyptians. And I don't know if you can see on the side there, but it says Fabrique Nationale d'Armée de Guerre, Herstal, Belgium. Belgium? Belgique? Belgique. I didn't know that's what the Belgians called their own country. It's kind of a fancy rifle for the time. It's got a couple of different interesting features on it. Before we look at those, yeah, it's empty. A lot of people comment on this saying, why do you check that? Because lots of people, you know, AD into their wall or into their family or loved ones or pets or whatnot. So always check your guns before you mess around with them. So this thing looks like it's a mag-fed semi-auto. It's not, well, it's mag-fed. That's not a detachable mag though. It's just a big box mag that's fixed, but it's kind of hinged. It's kind of not hinged. It'd be easier to show you. Let's just get straight into that, why don't we? I'm going to hold down on this thing, and I'm going to press out a little bit on this latch, and that's going to let go of, well, that's not a magazine. It's not a floor plate. I don't know what you call this. Half mag? Magazine. Box magazine. Blind box magazine. That can just, it just disassembles really easily. Why didn't they just make that a magazine? I mean, okay, so they've got the feed lips like right in there. You can't take the feed lips out. They don't go with the magazine. They stay in the gun. And I don't know. I don't know why they did that. It's kind of weird. There's a couple of other kind of interesting things. So you saw it's got a last round bolt hold open. And it's also got a manual bolt hold open. So if I wanted to, if I was in the middle of something and I wanted to top it up, I could pull this bolt back, press this in, and it would hold it. And it's actually holding it right now. You see there? I'm going to pull back a little bit. Oh, look at that. And now the bolt hold open is the one that's actuated by the magazine. So this thing has 2 bolt hold opens. Do you need that many? I don't think so, but it's neat. It's kind of cool. Speaking of kind of cool things, so if I pull this bolt forward, you see, oh no, it's a gap. Oh, that's terrible. This has got to go to Egypt, and there's sand, and oh, never you fear, the sliding dust cover is here. And on the first shot, that'll get blown open by the charging handle so that it can do its charging handle things. But if you want to, oh, seal it back up again. Don't let the sand in there. If it seems like I'm kind of poking fun, it's because I am. I don't have to fight in a war, so I guess I don't care about these things as much. Maybe if it was blowing sand, I would. Actually, if it was blowing sand, I'd probably throw like a cloth or something like that over here, because it's still not sandproof. There's still lots of little nooks and crannies for sand to get in there and dirt to get in there. But I guess this helps a little bit. It helps with like close off that big crevasse on the side there. So I guess that helps. There's our peep sight, so aperture at the back here, just a nice simple round with a, you know, elevated rear sight, so I can move it up and down to give myself some elevation. On the front, we've got our, you know, just got a couple of wings there for your safety and for the sight's safety, so you don't bang it up, and a fairly simple front sight on there. And we also have our gas port on the side here. Interesting. Now that gas port can actually be turned off from the outside. You just need to like poke something in there, turn it, and keep turning it. And does it turn up to the top? Okay, there's my disassembly. So I can pull that gas port out the top, or I can put it back in and keep turning, and pushing the little detent thing. And there we go, and turn it off. If, I don't know if I used to need to use like rifle grenades or something, maybe that's the use case for it. But in any case, it's kind of neat that you can so easily get access to that gas port. Come on. That's kind of interesting. We've got our bayonet lug up front there. And we've got our muzzle, very odd muzzle. I didn't look it up what this is supposed to do beforehand. Sorry about that. I'm just seeing it now, and it looks weird, and I don't know what it does. But anyway, these things came in a variety of different cartridges. Why would you want to look at one of these things? Well, here in Canada, at least, there's only really a couple of rifles you can have. They're semi-automatic. This is one of them, and they're priced right around $2,000, give or take, depending what kind of model you get, depending what kind of condition you get, that kind of thing. They are an interesting collector's piece. In terms of shooting them, they do have a stripper clip guide in there, and they do feed fairly well from the stripper clips, so that's better than some of the other guns at that time. But again, you do have to feed in through the top, and because we are in Canada, that'll be limited to 5. You're not going to put any more than that in here because that's our limit on semi-automatics. All right, let's get the house lights on so you guys can see this properly. I'm going to disassemble this thing. You already saw that it's empty. I'm going to go ahead and press that floor plate, pull the bolt back a little bit, let it go forward. Next, let's pull the magazine off. Magazine? Is it a magazine? This is not a magazine release lever. It actually works the opposite way. You stick something in there and you pull out to the back, and that allows this back of the magazine to come off, and it is kind of hinged on the front on that little nub there. There's our magazine. I'm going to pull that off to the side. Let's see. We're going to pull this off to the side there. Disassembly lever. It kind of looks like something off an SVT40, right? Like you're supposed to like stick something in the back here, trigger group comes out. Kind of, but not quite. So actually you pull this up to the top, and then you're just going to grab this part here, pull it forward, and then kind of pull up at the back, and out she comes. Like the SVT40, it does have more than 2 springs, though. They got springs on springs on springs. They have an outside spring. There's an inside spring on this front half here, and then the back half has a spring right inside the housing there. There we go. Sight on what is kind of a dust cover. Interesting idea. Okay, so we got that. Why don't we pull this bolt out? So if I were to get this bolt out, I would just kind of pull it out to the back there, and then just angle it up. Ooh, that's very SVT40 as well. There's our bolt inside our bolt carrier, and out she comes. That's fairly easy. I'm gonna get some paper towel going here. Yeah. Get some of this crud off, because we don't want the corrosive salts from that corrosive ammo attacking this bolt, because these rifles are old. They don't make them anymore, and if you want to make sure that your investment stays an investment and not a money pit, and make sure that you don't get all this stuff all rusty and that kind of thing. In terms of the design on these, I like it. It just looks really expensive. This thing looks expensive to make. Look at all the cuts that they need to make into this part. Like, there is a lot of machine work on this part. And the same thing with this bolt has a ton of machine work in it. Little like lightning cuts in there. Yeah, a whole bunch of little lugs on there. There's our firing pin at the back there. Whew, that is a stiff spring on there. Holy, you really need to push that thing to get it to fire. Holy crap. Yeah, but that looks very, very easy. Oh, that's not a lightning cut. That engages the lug. Oh, silly me. So the recess on the top there engages with a lug on the bolt right there. And that's how that tilt works. That's quite a bit more complicated than the Soviets did with that SVT-40. But it is nice and smooth to shoot. So the SVT-40, really. That's really all we need to do to take this thing down to clean it, right? We don't need to get in... Well, maybe we'll get into the gas system. Maybe we should do that, right? That's one thing that I thought was going to be like the SVT, but actually isn't, because on this one, the gas system, the gas piston rather, can come out the front. So let's get into that. Okay, I've just loosened the screw on this front sling swivel. Let's get that out of the way. You know, I might just... Okay, there's our front clamp. We're just going to carefully pull that off there. And let's get these top covers off. Is there a reason why that's tight? Probably, right? Probably. Nope, it just comes off. Okay, there we go. Here's our top covers. Whew. Now I'm smelling that corrosive ammo. All right, there's our gas piston, and we can see there it's a short stroke gas piston, but geez, that thing goes. Is this short stroke or geez, that goes far? Holy. There's our gas piston. We also have an adjuster on the top here, so if you ever wanted to adjust the gas on this thing, that can go side to side. It's got little detents on there, and you can move it side to side for more or less gas. Why don't we pull the front off here? If I can just push that in. Oh, I can. Okay. I can just push that in there, get it to the vertical, and pull out the plug there. And we can see that one side has a hole and the other side doesn't. That's how you can turn it off. Somewhat reminiscent of some of our modern 180 designs in Canada here. The piston can come out the front. If I balance it correctly, I guess it can. Look at that guy. We can see we've got some lightning cuts in there as well. So it's just kind of like a cruciform or a star-shaped pattern going out front there. Cruciform, it's a big plus sign. It's a big plus sign. We can just leave it at that. This rod is enormous. My goodness. But crucially, so it's got a bit of a radius there, which is important so it doesn't crack there. And like at least over this length here, it does have that ribbing there. So that should help with mitigating like the bending forces on this thing. So that should be okay. There's our return rod. And if you're just curious to see how this gas adjuster works, it just turns to the side just like that. So that's all you need to do to change the size of the gas outlet to change how much gas is going back on this thing. Okay, I'm just gonna get that pipe cleaner up there and clean in there. Because it's accessible from both sides, it's very easy to clean this piston area out, the cylinder area. Just while we have this thing open, there's our mag empty bolt hold open acting there. It just presses on a little lever down here, and that catches on that hook on the back there. So pretty simple design. I like it. I like simplicity. I'm not going to remove this or take this thing down anymore, but there's a couple screws there and there if you so choose. Let's go ahead and put this thing back together. So our gas piston is going to go in through the front, down there, and as it gets into that second guide, I'm just going to grab its return spring there, stick it in through there. And let's get this. Oh, I need it to be on the one with the characters. That means gas on, I think. Although I don't speak whatever kind of Egyptian this is. I don't speak any Egyptian. Okay, I've got that in. That's going to retain my piston there. Let's put that up to the top where it was before. Let's put some handguards on. Yeah, why not? Does this just snap on? No, it doesn't just snap on. It goes on from the back. Does it go into the back? Does it go on from here? Is that even the right one? Maybe this one? And then this one? Yeah. Yeah, okay. There, we've got those two on. Let's go ahead and throw our barrel band on. I think it's the other way. Let's go find our sling. Got to get that guy in there. Do I have this on the right way? That looks like the right way right there. Let's pinch those two pieces together and get that screw in there without dropping too much stuff here. Oh, that's what that catches on. Okay. This front here has some little catches there that need to groove in underneath there. And they grab on to some lips under here, and I didn't catch the one side. Let's catch both those sides this time. Yeah, there we go. And now let's try to get this clamp on here with the sling. Sorry, this clamp is just too tight for me to show you the action. There it goes. Just make sure that that's centered and sitting nicely in there. Oh, maybe a little bit too tight. Let's just loosen that a bit. There, now our sling moves. I think that's how tight it should be. Bolt. Let's put a bolt in there. Grab our bolty guy. I'm going to just give him a little bit of spritz of some ballistol. I don't know how long it's going to be until this gun's fired again, so I want to make sure that it's well preserved on the inside. I like ballistol because it is non-toxic, so it's less likely to, if I get it on my hands and that kind of thing and eat and whatever, less likely to give me the cancer, which, I don't know, should be worried about, right? If I was a bolt, I would want to go in like that, like this, like this. Yes, that's the way I'd want to go in, because that's the way it went in. Just like our SKSs and other Russian arms. Oh no. I should probably do the SKS trick and do this upside down, hey? See if that works. Is it further back? No, it can't be further back. It has to be right there. Just needed to give it a little bit of the beans there, so the bolt does stick out a little bit further forward than the bolt carrier when it's all the way back. And there's a bit of a catch to it there. Next, I'm going to take my dust cover sight assembly doohickey here, pop that in there, and I didn't need much to get in place there. There we go. Let's put that vertical so it'll go all the way back, and then lock that in place, and feels good. There's just something missing in our lives. Magazine. I wanted to clean that floor plate off. Let's do that. And we're going to take that guy, pop it in there, a little bit in, and in she goes. That works. Our bolt hold open works, and we're able to let it forward. What are some of the other features of this gun? Okay, we got brass butt plate, little hidey hole back there, sling swivels, data coin thing here. Dust cover I showed you. What I didn't show you earlier was the safety. So you can press that down there. Safety's on. It blocks your access to the trigger. So there's your clue that you shouldn't be trying it. And it is locked as well. So flip that up and safety is off. Let's try that trigger and see what it's like. So I'll pull it straight to the rear. 8 pounds, 13 ounces. It's a heavy trigger, which, I mean, a lot of older guns have heavier triggers. Let's just see what that looks like. Pressing back. So we've got that heavy first stage. This is also our sear there. That's our cocking indicator. Trigger's nice. It's heavy, but it's nice. It's a good trigger. On the range, I didn't have any problems with it at all. And the sighting system I like. It's got a nice, simple sighting system there. Peep on the back. Got some wings on the side for protection. Front post. Interesting gun. Pretty interesting gun, to tell you the truth. It's too bad they're just a little bit, not a little bit cheaper. Right now in Canada here, you can get an M1 Garand for right around the same price. And the M1 Garand's going to fire cartridge is a little bit easier to find. It's going to have an 8-round mag instead of in Canada. This is a 5-round mag because it has to be pinned, which is a sad, sad day. But otherwise, yeah, cool gun. Runs from stripper clips. Runs pretty cool, and it's interesting. Thanks for watching.